Hello and welcome once again to DPN TV here at the DPN Rover car collection. We're in the Rover 75 and you may have noticed there's a cable there on the seat. Well, our bonnet release it's not releasing the bonnet, so what we've done, we've got a cable before we start stripping anything out in case that has gone. Now, interestingly enough, when we got this car, the cable had just been changed or worked on. We're not quite sure that it could have even been replaced with a second-hand cable, but it has worked for about a couple of years. Always felt a little bit stiff, but nothing to really sort of worry about until it now is having problems. As I say, it could just be it's gone out of adjustment or slipped. And if that's the case, then we've got a spare cable. So you may have also noticed that it's a singular cable, and the 75 uses a single cable from the bonnet release inside the car to a splitter box under the bonnet, where then the cable splits into two. Now, when we looked online, they only seem to sell the single cable, not the split part of the cable. So we're also hoping that if it is a broken cable, it's this singular cable you can see there and not the double part of the cable. Now, one of the things I have found that if you can't get something online, it normally means it doesn't sell very often. So I assume most times it's this singular cable that breaks. But we'll have to wait and see see what it's like when we do get the bonnet open. We got this cable from Expart on eBay, actually, because it seems, unless you know different, when you use Expart on their website, they want to recommend other sort of dealers. You don't seem to have to buy from them direct, but it appears through eBay you can. As you can see, I'll be able to the bonnet release here, and just basically moves, but nothing happens. So as I say, that's the next job, is to try and get the bonnet open, and then hopefully we'll be able to show you how we repair it, or how we fit this new cable. That's the next stage. So now we're at the driver's wheel, and what we're going to do, rather than take the wheel off, is we've just turned it at this angle, and hopefully you can see it. Yeah, you can. There's that little panel with a screw at the bottom on this one. We're going to remove that and see if we can reach up and pull the cable down to release the bonnet. Right, so we've got the panel removed. Actually, you can see a little bit more than I thought you'd be able to see. The previous person who did this, if you see with my screwdriver point, actually used a tie to hold the cable join or splitter in, and those two little black dots are the actual back clipping into the body. So we're going to cut that tie, push out the body, and then try and pull it down so we can release the bonnet catch. I'll just pan back so you can see exactly where we are, and there is the hole that we are looking for under the wing of the 75. Well, we finally got the cables down. It is quite a struggle and fiddly job to put your hand up and pull the cables through. And as you can see, there's one cable and there's the second one. So once you've pulled them down past the neck of the water bottle, one I was able to pull with my hands, and the other one I put a pair of pliers on the little end there, not the cable, pulled that, and that got us the bonnet open. If I take you here, you'll see the little bracket that goes over the bonnet, and inside of that bracket is the little piece that the cable's attached to. So that basically, that way around, slides backwards and forwards. You've got your singular cable coming from inside the car, and then the two holes are your double cables. And if we bring you up here, you can see here is the cable coming from inside the car, and down in there, which I don't know if you can see, are those two cables I just showed you from below. So what I was trying to do with this little box is it was situated here like that, and basically we had to try and pull it past this water bottle down through that hole, which eventually brought us out in here where we were, where I could pull the cables, and that's got us the bonnet open. Now we've got to see what the fix is and what we're going to do about it next. Right, so we've got the cables back through, and we're just putting a little bit of silicone WD down them. What we've also done is WD'd the two latches as well. So what we're doing now, after WDing the ends of the cables, I'm putting a little bit of WD silicone into the bonnet latch end, and I'm just pulling it up and down to work all that in. And actually, it is moving considerably easier, more than you'd think, just from putting a little bit of WD silicone in, which will hopefully really help the movement and stop that sort of stress and strain on the cable. Right, so now it's all siliconed up, we've put the cables back in the blocks. You can see the single one split into the two there, and they just basically, if I slide that one out, and you just slide them straight back in. As you see, they come out really, really easy, which is what we're going to be doing some moving about and find the best way to position this and come back to you. So now we've got it back into its housing casing. As you can see, the cables clip into this outer casing in all places, and of course in this, and this will slide up and down once we've clipped it back down onto the body, and we'll probably tie it as well and give it a good few movements up and down. We've also put some of that silicone WD in this box, so as it slides about it will have more lubricant and less stress, and less likely hopefully to slip out like it appears that it did this time. Right, so what I've now done is we've put two ties round this body, and hope that should stop it ever slipping away from the body and those cables coming out, because what we think is probably that one tie that was there eventually has got old and stretched, and that's what eventually had it to come out, as well as it getting stiff. What we've done is put one tie through this hole, and then we took it through the bottom hole of where this plastic piece clamps in, so we can get a real tight hold, and then a second tie that goes all the way round as a backup tie in case that first one ever broke. There'd be something there, and if you keep an eye on it, you'd notice that and get it done before the same situation happens. The other thing to make note is the ties that we initially cut that was holding this on. You need to be able to access them from under the wheel arch, and what we've done is check that these two ties you could cut in the future if there was ever a problem, so we can reach them. Right, so since that last little bit I showed you, we've adapted it slightly again, as what we found is by putting the tie through the bottom of where the plastic clip goes for this housing, it pulled on this too tight and jammed the slider in here. So we've gone back to putting the tie through this hole and all the way down, and that does just stop it coming out of its clips. But what we've also found is that this singular cable tends to want to slip backwards and come out of this housing, so we've used one of these little plastic sticky tie pads, if you can see that there, and we've took the sticky back off and slid it down so it sits behind the white piece of plastic on the cable, and then we've also tied it as well, so this cable now won't slip back that way and jump out, and it feels a lot better and really seems to be working. We now feel confident to shut the bonnet, so it does work. What we've also done is on this sliding rail we've put the cables in from the plastic side, not the body side, because they seem to be more likely to slip out when they're on the body side, so let them slide in from the plastic side, and that stops them coming out. Right, and hopefully you'll see from this how much better the lever pulls, and how much better it sounds, and that it's working. And you can just hear that click and hear the bonnet jump up there. So as far as we can tell, that's done. All the ties are cut, and we'll just keep using it, and hopefully that works, and hopefully it's helped you as well. So back in the Rover 75, at the end of that job to get our bonnet back open and the cable back working, well, it turns out we didn't need the cable, but it'll act as a good spare, as I've no doubt in the future we may need it, or who knows, one day we might have another 75 that needs a cable. It's certainly something worth having. At the moment there doesn't seem to be a shortage of them, but I can imagine in the future there will be, so worth something for us to keep hold of as a backup. And I can easily see how that cable could quite easily break in the future, so yeah, a good thing to have in our spare archive here at the DPN Rover car collection. I hope you found it useful. As always, our videos aren't really how-tos, they're just showing you how we get along doing the job, and hopefully if you're going to approach it along with looking at the right manuals and other research online, this will give you a little bit of an idea how we got wound doing it, and hopefully a way of doing it without causing any damage, as I could easily imagine how you could damage a car doing that bonnet catch, especially when you panic and find your bonnet doesn't open. As always, don't forget you can find lots of photos I take of our collection on Instagram and Twitter. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, ring the little bell, and of course keep checking back for any new videos that we do when we're out and about at shows, or of course any little jobs or useful tips we find. They're all on our little YouTube channel. Try and put as much as I can on Instagram and Twitter as well.